Hey everyone, welcome to Math Talk. I'm your host, Brian Heisler, and today we're going to finish out our series on probability, combinations, and permutations by looking at permutations. So let's get started. So a permutation it's a term that's used when you're looking at finding the number of possible outcomes where the order does matter. So combinations are looking at grouping items together where order doesn't matter. Permutation is where order does matter. And so, for example, like in combinations, 1, 2, 3 and 3, 2, 1 are the same, but in permutations, 1, 2, 3 and 3, 2, 1 are not the same. They're different. So it's a little bit different in the math. So let's look at some examples on how permutations can be used. We have an example that says there are 8 runners in a race with a ribbon going to first, second, and third place. And so how many different sequences of the top 3 finishers are there? So order is going to be really important here because first, second, and third is not the same thing as third, second, first. You can't interchange those. First is first, second is second, and third is third. And so the way to kind of approach these problems is you're looking at, well, how many people could get first? And after one is chosen for first, how many people can get second? And then how many people can get third? Once you figure those numbers out, you're basically going to multiply those options together and get your final answer. So for first place and second and third, I need to figure out how many different people could get those options or get those places. So for first place, all 8 of the runners could possibly get first place. So there's 8 possible answers or runners. For second place, well, someone's already gotten first, so there's only 7 people who could really get second. So there's 7 possibilities. And for third, we have first and second are already accounted for, so there's only 6 different people that could get third place. So I need to take these 3 numbers, 8, I need to multiply them together, times 7, times 6, and that's how many different orders there could be for first, second, and third. 8 times 7 times 6 is going to be 336 possibilities, which is quite a bit of options for top 3 when there's only 8 people in a race. It's really pretty interesting that there's that many different options. So let's look at another example on how to use permutations. In a 5-character code, the characters used are H, $Y, 7, and 1. And each character is only used once. You can't repeat. So how many different sequences can be created using these 5 characters? And so this is a classic permutation problem because, again, the order of these does matter. You can't repeat any ones, so there's only a set number for each character. So I'm going to draw out my 5 different lines. So I have 5 different spaces. I need to basically fill in the number of possible characters that can go in each of those lines. So for the first character, there's 5 different ones to choose, so I have 5 options. For the second one, I've already used one of the 5, so there's only 4 that are left. And then for the third one, well, I've already used 2, so there's 3, and then 2, and then 1 for the last one. When you get to that last one, there's only 1 letter or character to choose, so there's 1 option. And so for each of these, you're going to take and multiply the number of options together. And when you do that, 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 is 120. And just as a little piece of information, when you're multiplying this is actually the same thing as what's called a factorial. It's an exclamation point in math. It means if you take one number and multiply it by every number that's lower than it except 0. So 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 is actually 5 factorial or 5 exclamation point. So let's look at one more example on permutations. A teacher is trying to figure out how to seat 6 of her students in a row. And so the question asked, how many different ways can these 6 students be arranged in the row? Well, it's a pretty similar problem to the last one. I have a row of 6 different students or chairs. I need to figure out how many different ways you can arrange those students. And so when I do that, I need to basically figure out, well, how many can go into first, how many can go into second, how many can go into third, etc., all the way down to the end. And then once I figure that out, multiply them together and get my answer. So for my first seat, there are 6 students that could possibly sit there, so I'm going to use 6. For my second seat, there's only 5 students that are left, so I have 5 options. And then for my third, I have 4, 3, 2, and 1. My last seat, there's only one student left, so one student. And just like the last one, I'm going to multiply them out together. And again, this is similar to the last. This is actually the same thing as 6 factorial. When I multiply those all together, I get 720. So there's only 6 different students, but there's 720 different ways you can arrange them. I don't think the teacher's going to want to go through each option, but there's a lot to choose from. So when you get to permutations, remember the order does matter. A lot of the way the setup is going to be based on factorials. You really want to figure out how many options do I have for my first choice, and then my second choice, and third, etc., down to the end. And it's really going to help you get the answer. So I hope this helps, and thanks for watching. If you feel like after you're watching my videos, you think you may still need some extra practice in the classroom, you want to take classes with us, visit our website at www.gedyes.com. It'll take you right to this website, and you can find locations and where our classes are being offered. If you live in one of our neighboring counties, you can definitely visit our website, gedyes.com, and you can click on this link down here, FDOE Adult Educational Contacts. This will list the different contacts of the adult ed programs in the counties throughout the state of Florida. So you don't necessarily have to be in Palm Beach County to take advantage of adult and community ed classes. If you live in one of these counties, reach out to these people and they'll get you set up with classes in their county. Thanks again for watching.